and gentlemen, this is Eddie Marcus here again. You know, I want to share some information with you that you should already be aware of, but I'm not certain. You know, when the Founding Fathers established this as a nation, the only people that had authority to vote were rich people, landowners, the aristocracy. That's all. We've tried to make a few steps, a few gains from there since that time, but also every step we made forward, or every 2 steps we made forward, we made a step back. And the evidence is in the political arena today. They have made it so that in order to run for a political office, you got to be very wealthy and have some wealthy friends, because it costs humongous amounts of money to run for public office. And if you want to run for public office, you got to get that money from people who got it. And the people who got it want you to do what they want done in order to give it to you. And so this is getting money from the rich man, who in turn is buying his politicians to take care of those issues that are important to him. And for those of you who really have no power, when you go to the polls and vote, it's just an exercise to make you think that you are a part of something. You're not a part of anything. And when those people go into public office, they're not concerned about you. That campaign is just to trick you. And we bought into it. And so the same system that was started at the founding of this nation for rich white men is for rich white men today. And because I recognize this as being the evidence and is true, I have decided, by virtue of the spirit and love that is in me, to share with you God's economic and social plan for humanity. But let me give you a little insight about how the man works on you. First of all, for those of you who are planning to retire pretty soon, you might be able to retire because some money might be in your retirement funds, but you've heard it said oftentimes that later on the finances might not be there. And what will happen if the finances are not there for you to retire? And for those of you who are living from paycheck to paycheck, from day to day, who have no funds put aside for retirement, and certain groups of the political persuasion are saying no entitlements, then what's going to happen to you? You'll be like a third world nation. But considering that, this is part of the process in which is being used to bring you and to keep you where you're at. It doesn't matter whether you're white, black, male, female. If you're not rich, you fall in the same category. And so I wish the races would at least consider this, that they have more in common than not. And then you have the financial advisors who come in and tell you something about how to invest your money, for those of you who have a little money and want to get some more money. And today they'll tell you an investment, tomorrow they'll tell you another investment that are different. And so you're caught in between a quagmire, not knowing what to do. So here again, you're getting messed around when it comes down to your money. But that's simple. What is more simple is you got inflation. You know what inflation does. But whatever inflation does, you got deflation, which does the opposite. Then you got the cost of everything, everything that's being sold. I was listening to the news this morning. They were talking about Al Roker. And when he came into the world, how much gas cost. And it cost 21 cents. You don't find gas for 21 cents anymore today. So that tells you a lot about prices, not just in gas, but in food and houses. I think a new house to be built back in that day cost $22,000. Now it costs anywhere, I'm not going to even say, because you know, for those of you who have homes, and for those of you who don't, they cost into the hundreds of thousands. And it takes you more than 30 years to pay for them. In fact, you take out a second mortgage and a third mortgage and you never finish paying for it. That's how you're getting caught up in that. Then medical care. Oh, medical care is astronomical. Nobody wants to get sick. If they get sick, ooh, what are they going to do? Man, let me just leave that there. Then you got education. Education costs like I don't know what. And then you're not even guaranteed a job. Some of you will get a job. At least 55 or 60% of you, having graduated from college, will not get a job that has anything to do with your education. You're probably working at McDonald's or some minimum wage job. And again, we talk about minimum wage. People want to hold on to that money, not give you anything. And not that, You got wildfires that's taking place, burning up all countryside, burning up people's homes, burning up people's property, and the things that have meant so much to them. Then you got the floods that are come. You got the floods and the hurricanes and the tornadoes that's being accentuated by man through their HAARP program, HAARP, their weather machine, their weather weapon. And have you ever seen the kinds of rain and weather conditions that are happening today? Have you ever recognized them before? Have you ever seen rain on one street and not on the next street? And can give you so many inches in one street is pathetic. Can flood you out overnight. There, my friends, here causes you another problem. Then you got unemployment. We know what unemployment is about. We got homelessness. We know what that's about. All about a lack of money. Then you got corruption. Should I say competition in war here and there, war everywhere. Then you got the reverse mortgage scam, trying to tell you now that you can take the money that you have paid into your on your home, and that you can use that money to pay yourself money, and the home is still yours. I don't know why they won't tell you the truth, but anyway, a lot of people are trying. You know the Ponzi scheme. You know Madoff and how they rip folks off. You know about the pyramid schemes, and you know about the scams that come on computers and your telephones where people are trying to rip you off in each and every way they can. And that's just a few things. That's a few things that I wanted to mention to you so we can all agree that we're all on the same page. We are all aware of how we are being used to further the cause of those who are making it. And I have to say those who are making it because some people are making it. And then they got this, let me just say this, they got the police force that's designed not to keep peace from you. It's designed to keep peace for those who are in power. Now they'll come down and arrest a few people. They got to show some good signs. But the truth is, when you saw what was going on in Ferguson, for those of you who don't know too much about the past, in Ferguson, Missouri, you saw how the cops came down and all this armament stuff that what you have called conspiracy theorists, meaning jokes. Well, the conspiracy theorists have been telling you all the time that they have been sending this material from the military to these cities and states so that that material will be available to them. These armaments will be available to them when things like what is happening in Missouri starts happening all across this country. You got helicopters over in St. Paul, Minnesota, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, having drills, practicing, coming down between buildings, all down between homes. This is not, where have they been doing it at? Where have they been doing it at? And where are they going to use it at? Why are they training in our neighborhoods? What is this all about? Come on, think, people, think. Think real good and think real fast. All right? Maybe I should just go ahead on and tell you what God's economic plan is. You know the economic plan that you're involved in. But I want to say this to you like this. Everything on earth belongs to God. The good and the bad. The bad comes